Puppets of the Pyramid. How global leaders serve the hidden architects of power. The illusion of leadership. In the modern geopolitical spectacle, figures like Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Recep Tayyip Erdoğan appear as powerful sovereigns, commanding armies, swaying elections, shaping national destinies. But a closer examination reveals that these men are not independent actors on the global stage. Rather, they are proxies, performers, and pawns, carefully maneuvered by an invisible elite that occupies the pinnacle of global power. This elite, often referred to as the Cabal, does not answer to any electorate or constitution. Its power flows from control over money, information, ideology, and war. This essay exposes the common thread linking these seemingly antagonistic leaders and traces their strings back to the hands that pull them. Financial domination, the invisible banker's empire. Every modern government operates under a financial system controlled not by its elected leaders, but by central banks, institutions that are, in most cases, privately owned or deeply intertwined with transnational financial families. Whether it's the Federal Reserve in the United States, the European Central Bank, or the Bank of Russia, these institutions act as gatekeepers of liquidity, debt, and seigniorage. Trump's economic policies, framed as nationalist revival, were financed by massive debt issuance under the Federal Reserve's watch. Putin, while opposing NATO, still operates within a financial structure that includes major Rothschild-linked entities in Russia's early post-Soviet privatization. Netanyahu governs a nation whose high-tech and military industries are deeply tied to global venture capital and Wall Street. Erdoğan's regime, while promoting Islamic values, is financially entangled with Western banks, Gulf monarchies, and Israeli energy networks. At the top sit the families and networks, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Lazards, Warburgs, who have mastered global finance not merely as a business, but as a method of domination. Through control of interest rates, currency flows, and public debt, they ensure that national leaders remain dependent and obedient. 2. Military-industrial and intelligence networks. War as a business plan. The real might of the Cabal is enforced through war, espionage, and the global arms trade. The Pentagon, the CIA, Mossad, MI6, and NATO intelligence networks do not serve national interest as much as they uphold a supranational military economy, one that thrives on permanent conflict and instability. Trump sold weapons to Saudi Arabia while pretending to champion peace. Putin fuels his legitimacy through war in Ukraine, yet tolerated Israeli airstrikes in Syria without retaliation. Netanyahu plays both victim and aggressor, leveraging Holocaust memory to justify perpetual expansion and occupation. Erdoğan postures as a regional power broker while permitting NATO and Israeli covert operations from Turkish soil. Arms manufacturers like Lockheed Martin, BAE Systems, Raytheon, and Israeli aerospace industries are not merely companies. They are instruments of control. Every leader who engages in conflict fuels the profits of this global war economy. 3. Cultural and psychological manipulation, the theater of ideology. The third layer of control is perhaps the most insidious, the shaping of belief, identity, and perception. The Cabal funds think tanks, NGOs, religious movements, and global media outlets to manipulate how populations understand reality. Trump was marketed as the savior of American values. Putin promotes orthodoxy and Eurasianism. Netanyahu weaponizes Judaism. Erdoğan dresses neo-Ottomanism in Islamic robes. But all are selling myths to their people while answering to the same hidden architects. Through Zionist ideology, neoliberalism, and messianic prophecy, the masses are divided and pacified. Meanwhile, the elites meet in Davos, Bilderberg, or secret forums to coordinate their long-term strategies. Conclusion: the pyramid revealed. The world is not led by nations but by networks, financial, military, and ideological, tied together at the apex of a pyramid few ever see. Trump, Putin, Netanyahu, Erdoğan. Different flags, same masters. To break this cycle, populations must reject the illusion of left versus right, east versus west, religious versus secular. The real battle is vertical, the people versus the pyramid. Only when the strings are seen can the puppets be cut loose.